Hello. Okay. Well, this is Struck Live. I'm Benjamin Dane, and this is our 24th episode. So it's a special episode because we're going to have a wrap up of 2025. And also, we're going to look into the future. We're going to look at 2026. So I've got some great things to discuss with you guys today. And hopefully, you're enjoying the Struck Live program. We've done, I guess, it's been like 2 years. I mean, we've done an episode every month, and we've had some great guests, some incredible filmmakers, of course, the cast, the filmmakers. If you haven't seen a list of all of our episodes, you can go to our YouTube channel. And I believe that's youtube.com/struck the series, and you can find all of our episodes there. And make sure you do that because that's important, and you'll be able to see some great guests. We've got, not only do we have the filmmakers and cast from Struck and some behind the scenes footage, we also have some exclusive videos that we premiere on Struck Live, and we've spoken to several incredible guests. We've talked to Karen Covell. She was our last guest last month, and with Hollywood Prayer Network, she was such an amazing guest. And we've talked to, gosh, Alex McFarland. We've talked to Joe Kennedy. We've spoken to Raymond Harris and so many others. But you can look at those videos and see those episodes on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. We just want to remind you to follow us, keep track of what we're doing. If you look down below, there is the strucktheseries.com website, and you can sign up to be a Lightning Club member. And we keep you informed. We let you know what's going on with Struck the Series, and it's also some great behind the scenes that we don't always release to the public, but also the latest and greatest of what's going on with Struck and what we're doing. Well, let me tell you a little bit about what's happened in 2025. And then I want to show you an exclusive video I don't think we've ever shared before on Struck Live. So you're going to see that, and it kind of offers some insights to what Struck is all about. And again, Struck is the true story of Dr. John Morris. Now, John was a geologist who was struck by God to really seek out and find the Ark of Noah on Mount Ararat. And many people know about John. I mean, I'm surprised at all the people that have followed John Morris and his father, Henry Morris, who started the International Creation Museum that started several years ago. But John was devoted. I mean, his whole life purpose was to prove that Genesis was real from a scientific perspective. So John was a scientist, and he felt like people really needed to understand the science behind Genesis and creation. So he was struck by God to do about 13 expeditions to Mount Ararat to find the Ark. And so our series will cover his incredible research. And he's kind of like this modern day Indiana Jones. I mean, seriously, he was attacked by dogs, struck by lightning, shot at, all kinds of crazy things, dodging avalanches, searching for the Ark. So we're going to have a little bit of Indiana Jones, but we're going to kind of combine that with the story of Noah from the Bible. So you're going to see it's kind of a new way to look at the Bible, because it is current, modern day, yet biblical. And so it's kind of a cross between, if you've seen House of David on Prime, it's kind of a cross between House of David and Indiana Jones. But yeah, so we're going to cover both men's lives, and so you're going to see things you've never seen before. And we really call it an epic adventure, because that's exactly what it is. You'll see the story of John laid out, and then you'll also see the incredible story of Noah. But let me tell you guys, a lot of our followers are asking us, okay, so what's the latest? What's the greatest? What's going on? So I wanted to kind of tell you guys what's happened this past year, and I'm going to share a video, so stay tuned for that. And then we're going to talk about what's in the future for Struck. That's exciting. Okay, so in 2025, so we completed the proof of concept video. There are actually two. There's the trailer, which you can see when you go down to strucktheseries.com, is right down there. And you can see that there. I'm going to actually put this banner up so you guys can see that. There we go. Because that's what we are doing here. We're doing the wrap up. But you can go to strucktheseries.com and you can see the trailer, which is about 3 minutes, and it's a full trailer of Struck the Series. And then we also completed the proof of concept, which is about a 17-minute video. We've not shared that with Struck Live. That is exclusively for the distributors and the people we're pitching to, all the networks and so forth. So they can see that's privately held away from the public right now until we get the series going. But it basically shows what the series is all about. And what we have to do is we've got to put some things in place so we can pitch the series. It's not completed yet. It's a proof of concept, like I said, and we've got to show distributors what it's all about, the characters, the storyline, what's going to happen in the series. And so the proof of concept is a little bit more of a broad mini pilot, so to speak, but it's an overview of the series and what you'll see in the series. And so we have sent that out, and we're pitching currently to several distributors, and so they can see that. And in 2025, we actually approached Angel Studios. And so Angel Studios has this process where you actually present your work to them, and they take it to their board of directors. It's got to go through several things before it goes to the entire group at Angel Studios, and it's voted on and commented on. And so we passed all of that, and Angel Studios decided not to distribute our series, and that's fine. But we actually went through the gauntlet. We went through all of that to show the series. But we've got some favorable reviews, and people were really excited about it. So we did the Angel Studios, and then what we have done, we've won several awards, and you guys probably know a little bit about this. The trailer has won awards, the proof of concept has won awards, and so that just lets us know that it's viable and people are excited about it. And then, of course, we've shared with you guys over the last 2 years, we've been having Struck Live. And if you're part of the Lightning Club, which you can get a join at strucktheseries.com, if you're part of the Lightning Club, you know exactly what's going on. We also do a every month we have a Struck Lightning Bolt. This goes out to all of our Struck Lightning members, and they find out the latest and greatest of what's going on with Struck. And it's kind of a really wonderful exclusive group that is involved, and they are followers. They're praying for us. They are actually getting involved with us. We've got contests and all kinds of things that we do if you're a Lightning Club member. So that's something that we do as well. And that is, we've gained more followers. We're doing a lot of social media, so you can kind of see our posts. You can join us on Facebook, YouTube. You could, like I said before, you can see the episodes. You can join us on Instagram or Twitter. You can see all the things that we're doing there. So we started pitching the process of Struck and the whole concept of Struck to different distributors. And then also, we've done a lot of legal work this year. You guys have no idea how much legal work it takes. And like I said before in several episodes, we're like pulling back the curtain so you guys can see what really happens behind the scenes and what we do here at Struck. And you can kind of see what's going on. I don't know if a lot of people have done this in the past, but you can kind of see the whole process it takes to get some things launched like the series. Now, what I want to do is when I come back, I am going to show you a special look at 2026, but I want to show you this incredible video, which shows you a little bit behind the scenes, what we're doing, how it's going, and some of the filmmakers involved in Struck. And you're going to see some clips from our proof of concept in this next video. But the other thing that we're doing right now is fundraising. That's what we've been doing in 2025. And you can see right up here, there is a special QR code. That QR code, if you scan it with your phone, you can go directly to strucktheseries.com in the donation part, and you can become a Thunder partner. Now, you can give a monthly gift to Struck, or you can give a one-time gift through this portal. What's really great about this is that any gifts that are given are tax deductible because we are a 501c3 project. And so you can give to Struck and get a tax benefit back. Let me remind you, toward the end of the year, when you're looking for a tax benefit, you can do that with Struck, and we appreciate that. You can continue praying with us, but also think about and pray about being a donation partner, because everything that we do, everything that you do is going to benefit the series and launch the series. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to play this video really quick so you guys can see, and then I'll come back and we'll talk more about Struck in 2026.
Hi, I'm Wes Llewellyn. I'm the director of Struck. Struck is an exciting new streaming series we are putting together. It's an epic adventure about the life of John D. Morris, who was an Ark explorer in the 70s, and the account of Noah.
It's basically taking two series and mushing them together into one series and having something really relevant to say about who Noah was as a person through John's life.
You've got John Morris, who's this modern day Indiana Jones who sought to find the Ark, and you've got Noah, and how incredible it was that these two parallel storylines are coming together. Both men are struck by God, one to build the Ark, the other to find the Ark.
We're cross-cutting between these two gentlemen. They're two men who risked all to honor God, who risked all to obey what he told them to do.
Both of these men were very obedient. John felt he needed to go to Mount Ararat. He put his group together. There were 5 of them. 3 of them went up to the summit that one day. 3 of them got struck by lightning. And even after that, in a miraculous healing, they stayed on the mountain for another 4 days before they came back down. This is a level of obedience that's really amazing to me. And then you have to look at Noah.
This is a man of faith in a time where there was no faith. This was a man who stood strong to do what he was called to do and build this mammoth ship when everyone thought the guy was Looney Tunes.
These two men actually share an awful lot in common. John Morris and Noah have a lot in common when it comes down to how they interacted with the world. John Morris was a very serious scientist. He was a geologist, and he was very dedicated to the evidence of a global flood and also young earth creationism.
There's about 6 pages in the Bible about Noah. Now, many of the past representations of the story of Noah were not completely accurate, but we're treating those 6 pages as they're chiseled in stone. But between those stones, there's hundreds of years of mortar, and in there lies our story. This is where we get to explore, we get to decide what happened in those 500 years leading up to the time that Noah was told by God. He was struck by God with the vision of the ark, with the story that the world was going to be flooded, completely wiped out.
And so that's sort of our jumping off point, I think, from where we were starting to develop a story about how these two men were both struck by something that God had given them to do. One of them being, find the ark, discover my glory through the creation. And then the other one is save my creation and save humanity.
We've been dealing with scientists, primarily from ICR, Institute for Creation Research, which John, his father, and his brother started, based here in Dallas. We've been talking to them and coming up with theories of what the world could have looked like. Of course, nobody knows.
Because that world was completely different than anything that we are living in right now.
You have to remember that their world, even though it was fallen, was much closer to paradise that God had originally created. Man had become corrupt, man had become evil, except for Noah, who was pure.
I think at that moment when I realized that he was having an attack, it didn't scare me. It almost drew me closer to him.
Maybe we should go back! Get out of here! Go back!
So when I was struck and I was lying there, I thought that I was gonna die.
Being on the mountain and being in the storm and being laying there paralyzed, waiting to die, I was like, wow, this man knows God better than I thought he did.
I don't know what's gonna happen with my MS. It's bleak.
And as we were talking at that moment, I'd seen little evidences of his multiple sclerosis and how it had affected his body. And I had a perfect peace.
If God has given you the grace to get this far, then He will give us the grace to make this work.
I'm really looking forward to writing about Noah and who he was as a person. And I can look at John as kind of a template, a pioneer, somebody who is facing all kinds of social pressures and who had to struggle to get the finances together to do the research that he was doing and all the things against him, being hit by lightning in a snowstorm, attacked by wild dogs, shot at. And then you look at the things that Noah had to overcome. And then you're looking at our world today that we have to overcome. It is a deeper story. We are in such a critical time in our history right now. And we keep hearing the phrase, as in the days of Noah, as in the days of Noah. And we are slowly finding out more and more exactly what that means. I think there's a real need to share exactly how that looks when you walk it out.
I think as a believer, faith in filmmaking is so important. We've got to tell God's stories. We've got to tell the miraculous. We've got to tell what God is doing in our world today and what He's done in the past, because He's the same yesterday, today, and forever.
This film, what I would like to see come out of it is not to tell my story, although I think my story of the healing on Mount Ararat from lightning strike, I mean, I was surely dying up there and now I'm alive. And I do believe that God gets credit for that, and we give Him a praise for that. But as a creation scientist, as a Christian who is a scientist, I believe Scripture. I believe what it has to say. I believe it, and so many Christians don't. As Christians, we need to believe what the Bible has to say, use that as a basis for understanding everything, even science.
There you go. I love that video because it really shows you the passion that all the filmmakers have for this project. And you got a chance to see Wes and Amanda Llewellyn and myself and several others. Also, Dalta, who is the widow of John, and unfortunately we lost John a couple of years ago, and we actually were shooting when he passed away. And it always gets me emotional, but what just a phenomenal man of God he was, and what a purpose he had on his life. And we hope to tell his story. But with every story, there's heartache, there's that human element, and there is also that drive that he had that we are going to explore through the series. And unlike any other series, it really is, like Amanda said, it's like two different series, because we're telling two different stories, but we're merging them together. And as John, as we go through his life, and he didn't start out having a purpose in his life. He was kind of aimless and struggling with his life. And we're going to see that part of his struggle. But when he finds his purpose and he finds what he is called to do, and as he discovers his purpose, we're going to reveal Noah and his life, as John is kind of discovering Noah and what he went through and how he was obedient to God to do what he was supposed to do. And his faith level was so high. So we'll see that, but we're also going to see the human struggle of Noah, because as you guys know, all of our biblical heroes, they were human men and women that were called by God, that did incredible things, but they were human just like you and I. And I think that a lot of times we place our biblical heroes somewhere high above us. Sometimes we even worship them or whatever that is, but they honestly were human people, fallible just like us, because there's only one perfect one, and all of us are fallible and we make mistakes. And so we're going to look at that human element of both men and see their obedience, see their faith level, and see the people that surrounded them in their lives. And that's why we actually have Dalta Morris, John's widow, as a consultant. So she is going to be our consultant as we complete the series, so we get his story just right. That's very important to us. And we're going to work with ICR and the incredible folks. And we talked a little bit about it, but we're going to create this. It's going to be an interactive system called Behind the Science, where we're going to show you the science and reveal a lot of the proof for the flood, for Genesis. And that's what I love, is because that was what John was all about. He was all about the science that proves creation actually happened. So you're going to be able to watch an episode of Struck and then go online and see the science behind the episode. And we want to work with home study programs, churches, organizations, and homeschooling programs. So it really will open up science and the proof behind the flood, which I love. So it's going to be a really great thing. But I'm going to talk about real quickly, before I get into 2026 and what's ahead for Struck, I want to talk about some of the questions that people constantly ask us. And so I want to answer those questions. So first, one of the first questions that people say when they see the series, when they see the website, when they see the trailer, they automatically say, where can I see Struck? Because honestly, we did such a good job with the trailer and the proof of concept that people think the series is actually happening and it's going on right now. Well, actually, what we did, and I said a little bit about this before, is that we shot the series in a proof of concept. The series, I'm sorry, we shot the trailer for the series and the proof of concept. But that was to get the buzz going about the series. So today what happens when you go to networks is you've got to have something together, right? You've got to have kind of a proof of concept so they can see what the series is all about. So we took about a year and a half shooting the series concept. And so people can see the trailer, but yet it's not completed yet. So it's kind of a glimpse of what the series is going to be. And it's interesting because since we've shot some of this footage, things have changed a little bit. So we're actually going to tweak and maneuver those things just a little bit. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But yes, so you can't really see the series. It's not out there yet. It's a proof of concept. And a lot of you have followed The Chosen. It's kind of like The Chosen when they first started, is they had to raise money for The Chosen to start the series, and then the series picked up and it went on and it grew, and its viewership grew, its followers grew. So that's what we're trying to do as well, is trying to build a following for Struck right now. So the second question a lot of people ask is, what does it take to start the series? So a lot of people are like, okay, well, yeah, I love this. It's great. It's a great concept. I want to see it. What does it take to start a series? Well, it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money, and it takes a lot of time and effort. And so a series is a little bit different than a movie. So you actually raise funds for the movie, you get the movie produced, and a movie just basically is, it's anywhere from, I guess a movie could be shot for under 10 million. But you've got locations, you've got actors, you've got a lot of folks involved, and you've got writers and the directors, the cast, and you've got so many things, special effects, if there's any special effects, and location costs, and cameramen and crew, and all those things. I always tell people to sit and watch the credits of a movie. And when you see the hundreds and hundreds of people, then you kind of get a glimpse of what it takes to make a movie. A lot of times we see a movie and we're like, oh, that was really good. And we go on to the next movie or to the next series, and we don't realize how much it took to get that movie or series off the ground. So it takes a lot to put a series together, because the budgets are much higher than a film, because literally there are many movies. And so we would do an hour-long series, so you've seen series before, you know what I'm talking about, like The Chosen, or like any other series that's on television or Prime, or any kind of streaming network. You kind of know what that's about. It's usually an hour-long series, an hour-long episode. And so what happens is that each one of those episodes cost money to make. So that is usually raised by either the network is involved in that, they produce the series themselves and they sell commercial time, or they have sponsors, and so that pays for the series. But then there's also independent series, and they're raising their money for themselves. And that's kind of what we're doing right now, is we're raising the money for the series. And much like The Chosen did, there may reach a point where we seek investors. And so that's that's how it works. But in addition to raising the funds, we also have to we've got to do budgets. And that's based on locations, like where the series will shoot. Struck the series will probably shoot in a variety of different locations. It may be, we may shoot in the Dallas area. We may do volume screens. Volume screens is how a lot of series are produced today, where you've got backgrounds and elements because Struck is going to be covering the Noah life, the life of Noah, and you're going to see the antediluvian world, the pre-flood world. A lot of those scenes, the plants, the forest, the terrain is kind of not here anymore because it was a pre-flood world. Everything was more lush. So we're going to have to recreate all of those things. And we may be shooting in jungles. We may be shooting in certain countries for that. Volume screens also in studio will be shooting as well. But then we've got John's life, and John's life, basically it takes place in the 60s and 70s and 80s. So we've got different time periods. So we're going to be shooting in different locations for that. But also he is on the mountain. He's on Mount Ararat a lot, searching for the Ark. So we'll see those explorations and expeditions in Turkey and different places. He has to go to Israel. He goes to the Grand Canyon. So we're going to be shooting in various locations. But yes, it takes a lot. It takes all those things. And like I said, we're pitching to networks. We're doing all that. We're getting out there so people can see the concepts. And basically what we have to do is we have to create a series Bible, and not only have the visuals that we've created with the proof of concept, we also have to have a series Bible. And that is, all the episodes have to be outlined. Where does a series go in the first season, second, third, fourth, and fifth? What happens in those seasons? And how is it all connected? Who are the characters? What is their lives all about? Where are the locations? There's just so much that have to be explained that shows a distributor that this is a viable series and there's something exciting. Okay, so getting on to the next question, I kind of started talking about this, but how much does it cost to do a series? Well, and a lot of our people are asking us this. A lot of our followers are saying, I don't understand. Why can't you just shoot the series and get this thing done? Well, a series is very expensive, and I alluded to that earlier, but basically our budget is probably under 10 million per episode. And you think that's a lot of money, but actually miniseries like Chosen and others, even like, I'm trying to think some other series that are out there, but any series that you see are usually 10 up to 30 or 40 million dollars per episode. Yes, they're that expensive because it depends on your cast. Of course, if you've got a name cast, that's going to be more expensive. If you've got special effects, if you've got multiple locations, all of that adds to the cost. So a series can be, if you think about it, they're, like I said, they're mini movies and they're about an hour long. And if you think about a film, if you think about a Marvel film, for example, that's $200-300 million for a 2-hour movie. Well, we're doing a series and we're doing 8 to 10 episodes a season. And each one of those episodes is, like I said, a mini 1-hour movie. So that has to have a budget. And so that's about how much it's going to cost. So literally, I mean, depending again on all the above and what you have, what you're shooting, a series could be anywhere from 5, 10, 20, 30, up to $40 million per episode. And so you're thinking, well, it's really not that much when you consider an entire 2-hour film or movie is that or more, depending on, again, your cast, location, the expense of special effects, all those things. So I hope that answers the question. We are shooting for a budget under 10 million per episode. That's what we're looking at. And so that's what we want to do. And then that may fluctuate. We may have some economy of scale. We may be able to do things more cost effectively with, in fact, AI has helped us reduce the cost of the special effects. So that's going to be able to bring our pricing down a lot. And we may not be able to or have to do so many different location shoots, which honestly helps. Okay, so let's go to the fourth question. The fourth question is, how can I get involved? How can I help Struck come to the screen? Well, there's three main things that you can do. First of all, you can pray. Pray with us. Help us to get this series off the ground so that we can reach the world with this incredible story of faith and the human element and epic adventure. So that's what we want to do. And you can become a prayer partner with us. One of the things that we do, which is interesting, I know, and I love this, is every week we have a group of prayer partners that pray for Struck. And we've been doing this for the last 2 years, but just really praying for Struck for a divine direction, that we know exactly what to do, where to go, who to talk to, and how to develop the series. So we believe prayers is powerful. And so what you can do is become a prayer partner with us and pray for Struck. The other thing you can do is give. And like I said, up here, we have the QR code. You can scan that and you can give. And a lot of people are giving $5, $10, $20, $50 a month. That helps us a lot. Or if you want to do a one-time gift, that helps us. And like I mentioned before, we are a 501c3. And so what happens is that there is a tax deductible advantage for you giving to Struck. And when you give to Struck, or when you purchase a product at Struck Gear, the Struck Gear, there's t-shirts and hats and all kinds of different things there at strucktheseries.com. You can actually give a gift, or you can sport a t-shirt with a faith declaration, and all proceeds go to help Struck get off the ground and get produced. So pray, you can give to Struck, you also can share. And that's important as well. Let people know, let your friends and family know about Struck. Let them know what we're doing here, how we're trying to get the series off the ground and grow a following. That's important. So those are the things that you can do to help us get Struck off the ground and be involved. And like I said, if you join the Lightning Club, that's another thing that you can do at strucktheseries.com. And you can not only become a Thunder partner and give, but you can become a Lightning Club member. And that is going to give you the latest and greatest of what's going on with Struck the series. So get involved and let's see the series become a reality. And then the other thing that people ask us a lot is, what's next? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what's next. There's some exciting news and kind of our look into 2026 and what's happening next. So let's talk about that. So what we're doing next, and you guys please pray about this, because these are some things that of course we cover in prayer, but it helps that our followers are also praying for us. But we're doing a business plan, and a business plan basically is something to show investors that what we are doing with Struck, how is Struck going to start? How is it going to make money? How is it going to get off the ground? And basically every series needs to do a business plan. So that's what we're doing next in the month of January. And we're doing two things. And this is something you guys can all pray about. We're doing two things. One, we're doing a business plan option to where it goes straight into series. So we will raise money. We will have investors that invest in a series. And so, like I said before, that is where each episode will cost money. And so we'll have to raise those funds either by investors, fundraisers, and or a network that will become a partner of ours, and we'll have sponsorships and so forth. But that business plan has to be created to show how we're going to raise money and what the return is going to be. So that's one option for the business plan. The other option is this. We will start with a film, and it will go out theatrically It will be a traditional 2-hour film, which will cover the series and start the series, but it will be its own self-contained movie. So then that also will generate income for the series and allow us to produce and start the series and go on. So it's in essence a film feature that lives by itself, that goes out theatrically, but it also is a pilot episode, so to speak. It launches the series and goes on out there. So that is the second business plan option that we'll be doing. So pray for those things. And then we also have to do a series Bible. And like I said, the series Bible actually is a whole look. It's pages and pages of the entire series, the seasons, the episodes, where it's going, what it's doing, the characters, where we're going to shoot, the economy of scale, the costumes, the wardrobe, the locations, all of that, the special effects, it's all put into a series Bible. And literally, we have to write the series, and we already have a pilot script, but then we have to show the distributor where it goes. So we have to show each episode, kind of a look at each episode going forward, what the series arc will be. And that is the series Bible. So that's something that we will do in 2026. And then one of the things that we want to do is create new artwork. Now, we've shared artwork here before, but actually what we want to do is create a brand new poster, new artwork. Everything has been conceptual to this point, so we want to take it to the next level. So our artwork will increase. It will be a visual of what the series is going to be about, of course. With our artwork, there'll be new posters. There'll be a new website we'll start. The website will have all new artwork, a whole new look and feel to the series. And as the series becomes reality, all that has to be changed. We'll do more social media posting in 2026. We'll start launching different aspects of the series so our public can see that. And then we'll also be pitching the series to networks again. And then so all these elements that I talked about, the business plan, the series Bible, the new look, the artwork, the website, all of that goes into pitching the series and getting it out there to networks. So that's going to happen in 2026. And you know, honestly, what happens too is we've got to work through the different characters and find out who those folks are. And we have some really good ideas. We actually are going to go back, and John Morris had a lot of writing, a lot of journals that he did, and he also has an unpublished book that we're looking at. But literally, he has tons and tons of writings about his expeditions, what he accomplished, a lot of his research that he did. A lot of his research launched others and inspired others, like Tim McClary, who is going and continuing that work at ICR. And so we will go through a lot of John's journals and digitize all of that information. So we have a lot of that information to cover through the series. So as you can see, there's lots to do in 2026, and we are getting all involved and getting ready to do all those things in 2026. So pray for us and be a part of Struck. Let us know how we can answer any further questions. If you do have questions, you can contact us through strucktheseries.com and let us know what those questions are. And of course, we'll answer those. We're hoping to get more information out to you so you guys can see what we're doing. Let me see if there's anything else I've missed here in what's happening in 2026. So yeah, I told you about the pitches. Yes, we've got that. Let's see what else. Yeah. So there's also a lot of new legal work that we have to do as we get closer and closer to Struck, the series being a reality. There's a lot of legal work that we have to do. So that's kind of behind the scenes, a lot of things that the public doesn't know about. And one of the things that we don't talk about a lot is the legal work that's involved in creating a true life story. A lot of times when you see it, I just went to go see Song Song Blue, the story of Mike and Claire and how they did this incredible work and did this Neil Diamond live shows in Milwaukee. And it just is a wonderful true story, but there was a lot of legal work that had to happen because that is a true story. And there are people involved in those life rights and so forth of what has to be done. So that's something that we too have to do, involving the story of John and telling his story accurately. So that's something that we want to do. We want to do it well. So that's one of the things that we're going to do in 2026 as well. So hopefully that gives you some idea of what we're doing, how we're doing it. And please let us know if there's any other questions that you guys have. And get involved, like I said, share, let people know about what we're doing. It is a huge undertaking. I'm not going to lie. It's a huge undertaking to get this thing out and done. And we're just beginning that process. And we've been in it for a while, but there still is a long road ahead. So you guys encourage us. I mean, our fans, our supporters are so important to us. And it just encourages us to keep moving forward with this true life story and what we're doing. When we hear from you guys and when you're following us and you're getting involved, it's so important to us. So okay, well, that's about it. I just wanted to give you a wrap up of what's happening with Struck. Hopefully you enjoyed this look at Struck through 2025 and what we're planning on in 2026. So stay tuned for more information. Stay tuned for what we're doing. Again, go to strucktheseries.com. Find out how you can get involved by being a Lightning Club member and a Thunder partner. And there is the QR code that you see up above. And get involved with us. We appreciate you guys. Oh my gosh. It's been a long road, but we're getting closer. And we appreciate you guys so much. Until next time, we'll see you soon.